It's really important to remember that Mitchell has never had a lawsuit actually go the distance and result in his favor. I have done absolutely nothing wrong. I got one little detail wrong and paid him a large sum of money. This was all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life.
Publishing the retraction at the time and in the manner he did was an aggravating feature of his conduct.
When you know the whole situation, it's really fucking stupid.
And Karl, expect me.
I would never make such a claim unless I had very good evidence to support my position. Hello, you absolute legends. The madman finally did it. If this goes the entire distance, the final price tag could be well over $100,000, especially given that I have a really good team of lawyers.
That gets views, that gets clicks.
So if I eventually win, which does seem extremely likely, Mitchell should have to pay back a lot of money.
Without a single source, except a now deleted post on Reddit.
Billy supposedly wants to prove to the world that he didn't cheat and that Twin Galaxies were lying. Trial is his opportunity to do this. September 16. Mark your calendars. This is going to be big.
That gets views, that gets clicks.
An American video game champion is suing a Brisbane YouTuber over cheating claims.
I couldn't sleep well for a long time. I am already psychologically prepared to lose. My trial will be decided by a judge.
I have concluded that there should be judgment for Mr. Mitchell in the sum of $300,000.
All of his lawsuits have either been dismissed or settled. Note that Billy has never ever actually won.
And today it was game over for Karl Jobst.
Mr. Jobst was also reckless and vindictive in publishing the full video twice.
And the judge, when he was reading the sentence, he started reading all this shit talk that Karl was doing.
Billy Mitchell needs to be destroyed in court.
Billy Mitchell needs to be destroyed in court.
I am the last chance the public has to punish Billy.
I'm the last chance the public has to punish Billy.
I will never let Billy forget this.
I will never let Billy forget this.
If I win, oh boy, I'm not going to be a good winner.
If I win, oh boy, I'm not going to be a good winner.
How do we get to the point where one human being hates another human being to the degree Karl Jobst clearly hates Billy Mitchell?
And I'm now of the opinion he is legitimately evil, and hopefully something can be done to stop him soon.
No matter how much I hate someone, I don't want to go there.
He is a disgraced cheater that everyone hates, no one wants him around, and I'm the only thing keeping him relevant.
Billy Mitchell is like a content creating machine.
Billy Mitchell appeared to have a plan, and apparently in his case, the plan actually seemed to have worked.
Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century. Billy Mitchell always has a plan.
The grapevine effect is the likelihood that the defamatory imputations have been and will be repeated to other people over time, and they may even surface again after this judgment. The grapevine effect arises particularly in cases of defamatory imputations made on social media or other internet sites, including YouTube.
Jobs released a video downright loaded with false defamatory statements. The most heinous accusation related to Apollo's passing. In the video, Jobs outright states that I drove Apollo to suicide. In his words, he may as well have just said murder. For those of you who haven't seen it, here's the clip.
He also sued YouTuber Apollo Legend for $1 million. I haven't spoken about this publicly, but this lawsuit ultimately ended with Apollo giving in and settling with Mitchell. He was forced to remove all of his videos about Mitchell's cheating and paid him a large sum of money. and paid him a large sum of money. This left him deeply in debt, which required him to find extra work. But with his ongoing health issues, this was all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life. This was all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life.
This cannot be ignored. I plan to respond the way that everybody anticipates for me to respond. And Karl, expect me.
We're joined by a special guest, Karl Jobst, the man currently being sued by Billy Mitchell. How's that going?
Fantastic.
So what is the story? For anybody who doesn't know, can you give us a little backstory on why you found yourself in the middle of a lawsuit?
Trying to build my YouTube channel, I felt like the Billy Mitchell thing was a very interesting topic. I mean, I love it. Billy Mitchell is like a content creating machine. At the end of the day, I'm pretty confident and there isn't much to worry about, but it's still scary. He would just have to sue me in the state that I'm in, which is like publicly available information. So he knows what state that I'm located in. And then he has to hire an Australian lawyer and go through the Australian courts. It's going to be
understood.
Very difficult. I mean, yeah, it's like doable, but it's going to be a lot more work for him and a lot more expensive.
I did everything to avoid a lawsuit. So like I got one little detail wrong. Like I'm not going to go into all the specifics. I will after the lawsuit. I will after the trial. Like I got one little detail wrong, right?
Mr. Jobst was reckless in making the allegations. His assertions were based on a fallacy, namely that Apollo Legend had paid Mr. Mitchell a large sum of money. That was simply wrong, and he had no reasonable basis for asserting it. Yet even after finding out the truth, he has continued to assert that the settlement had a negative financial impact on Apollo Legend, and that he still believes that the settlement was a contributing factor to his decision to commit suicide.
I got one little detail wrong.
Mr. Jobst was also reckless and vindictive in publishing the full video twice. At the time he republished it, he had been told by Mr. Mitchell via his response video, by their mutual acquaintance Keemstar, and by Mr. Mitchell's lawyers that what he had said about the payment was not true. But he nevertheless decided to republish the entire video regardless.
One little detail wrong.
And showed an absolute disregard for the truth or for the effect of his video on Mr. Mitchell and his reputation. On 29 July 2021, that is about 6 weeks after he finally edited the video and took out the offending passage, Mr. Jobst published a video in which he retracted his statement that Apollo Legend had paid Mr. Mitchell money, and he apologised to his viewers for having given them incorrect information.
Now, before I finish the video, I would like to take this opportunity to correct something that I said in a previous video. Back in May, I talked about the new lawsuits filed by Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell. In that video, I made the claim that Apollo Legend paid money to Billy Mitchell as part of their settlement. I would never make such a claim unless I had very good evidence to support my position. In response to this, Billy Mitchell released a video accusing me of lying and claimed that no money was exchanged. He didn't provide any evidence to back up this claim, nor did he attempt to get in contact with me to clear up any misinformation I may have had. However, I did investigate further as I would never want to provide false information to my viewers. I reached out to a member of Apollo's family who graciously agreed to clarify some details. According to them, despite Mitchell's best efforts, Apollo Legend would not pay any money, and in the final version of the settlement, there was no clause indicating that he was required to do so. Therefore, the statement I made in that video was almost certainly incorrect. I sincerely apologize for providing false information, and no matter what kind of relationship I have with Mitchell, I do not believe that it is ever justified to lie or mislead. Mitchell also claimed that I was accusing him of murder. This is certainly not the case. I do have my opinion regarding the impact of the settlement on Apollo's decision, but ultimately, it was no one's responsibility but his own. The only reason I mentioned it in that video was because I felt like it was important to let you know what happened, as I know many of you enjoyed his videos. And I did a retraction, and my retraction has like millions of views, and the original claim has like 600?
Yeah.
So like, and you know, I made an offer never to say it again. So I removed it from my video, made a retraction, which got way more views. And that's not enough.
That video did not retract the imputations at all. It simply retracted the statement that Apollo Legend had paid Mr. Mitchell a large sum of money. Mr. Jobst did not apologise to Mr. Mitchell in any way. This retraction video was, in total, a little over 30 minutes long. For the first 28 minutes and 24 seconds, it had nothing to do with arcade gaming, cheating, or Mr. Mitchell. It was about particular speedrunning. It then went blank for a few seconds before it returned with Mr. Jobs' alleged retraction statement, which itself lasted only about 45 seconds. Mr. Jobs contended that for a number of reasons, any damages I award should be minimal or at least reduced due to two mitigating factors. One of those factors was that he published the so-called retraction video. For the reasons I've already mentioned about that video, I do not consider that it had any mitigatory effect. Rather, publishing the retraction at the time and in the manner he did was an aggravating feature of his conduct. Publishing the retraction at the time and in the manner he did was an aggravating feature of his conduct. He did not publish it in a way that would draw it to the attention of the original audience, but instead essentially hid it from view. And of course, he did not retract any of the imputations against Mr. Mitchell, nor apologise to him.
He also sued YouTuber Apollo Legend for $1 million. I haven't spoken about this publicly, but this lawsuit ultimately ended with Apollo giving in and settling with Mitchell. The lawsuit against Apollo was just as frivolous as the rest, and Apollo definitely would have won in court, but again, he was extremely ill and couldn't handle the ongoing stress. Fighting requires money, which is why I have launched a GoFundMe to support victims of Billy Mitchell's frivolous lawsuits. The end of 2021, he filed an official lawsuit, which is still ongoing. I'm not going to say exactly what he's suing me over, but it is ridiculous. When you know the whole situation, it's really fucking stupid. Yeah. Really stupid. Hello, you absolute legends. The madman finally did it. On the 13th of September 2021, the speedrunner Karl Jobst achieved this lawsuit. Until now, Billy Mitchell had only made threats about suing me, but he finally pulled the trigger and has made it official by filing a complaint in the District Court of Queensland, which is the state in which I live. Normally, I'd give you a full breakdown of this kind of thing, but because this one involves me, I'm going to keep my cards a lot closer to my chest. What I will tell you is that I am being sued for defamation, and the amount of damages being sought is $450,000. I will definitely be giving you updates as we go, but I don't want to give out too many details or strategies before I use them in court. I never make claims without ample evidence to support them, or some kind of justification. As everyone knows, lawsuits are extremely expensive. If this goes the entire distance, the final price tag could be well over $100,000, especially given that I have a really good team of lawyers. Hello, you absolute legends. As many of you know, in September of 2021, Mitchell filed a $450,000 lawsuit against me over my video titled "The Biggest Con Men in Video Game History Strike Again." In that video, I go over a couple of ridiculous lawsuits that Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers had filed. I have done absolutely nothing wrong. I have done absolutely nothing wrong, and I will never be scared into silence by anyone. But until I win in court and defeat this madness, it's going to cost a ton of money. And I'm truly sorry, but I do need help. So I have set up a GoFundMe to help with my fight against Billy Mitchell, and any help would be immensely appreciated. This GoFundMe is set to cover the rest of my existing lawsuit, plus the new lawsuit that Billy Mitchell says he will be filing. There is light at the end of the tunnel though. In Australian court, generally the loser has to pay a lot of the legal fees of the winning party. So if I eventually win, which does seem extremely likely, Mitchell should have to pay back a lot of money. money.
Especially around the subject of Apollo or cheating. That gets views, that gets clicks, that gets people noticing it, and that makes those guys lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money in the background as well.
Without a single source, except a now deleted post on Reddit. Now deleted post was his only source where he blamed me for taking the life of another human being. What kind of person am I, even to my family, if I would allow someone to do that unanswered? When somebody thinks they're in a different place, and they think there's nothing you can do about it, and they think they can just laugh at you, you can either let them do that, or you can pursue it. So we pursued it.
Karl has a family, but he lives in Australia. So he had the better home ground advantage, because it's more of a hassle to go out of country and file that type of a lawsuit.
He would just have to sue me in the state that I'm in, and then he has to hire an Australian lawyer and go through the Australian courts. I mean, yeah, it's like doable, but it's going to be a lot more work for him and a lot more expensive.
The attorney told me, he says, every time somebody makes a statement, don't get upset. Remember, this is defamation. And every single statement, every single YouTuber who takes his video and reproduces it, which is a lot, every single one of them is a gift. In the end, it's a gift. Because he's wrong. He cannot possibly defend the fact that he said I took the life of a human being. And I'm not gonna let it go, no matter what.
I've been trying to get a trial since June, but Billy keeps running away. He and his lawyers always do something which makes the process take even longer, even though I've been ready to go for months. Naturally, if Billy had a case, you'd think they would want to get this sorted out as quickly as possible. I mean, Billy supposedly wants to prove to the world that he didn't cheat and that twin galaxies were lying. Trial is his opportunity to do this. I mean, Billy supposedly wants to prove to the world that he didn't cheat and that twin galaxies were lying. Trial is his opportunity to do this. The entire point of a defamation lawsuit is to show the public that what was said about you was wrong. The entire point is to try and fix your public image and restore your reputation. However, it seems as though Billy isn't really interested in that. All he wants to do is drag things out for as long as possible and to do as much financial damage as he can to his opponents.
A bitter war of Donkey Kong has exploded, with controversy over a high score making it all the way to a Queensland courtroom. An American video game champion is suing a Brisbane YouTuber over cheating claims.
Hello, you absolute legends. As many of you know, back in 2021, Con Artist of the Century Billy Mitchell sued me for defamation, claiming damages of almost $500,000. Let's take a look at some of the things I will be arguing at trial. Billy himself has already proven that his reputation was destroyed long before I ever talked about him. It doesn't matter if he can show that I was incorrect on one thing. Even if he were to prove that I was wrong about a specific claim, there are many other claims that were true and also damaged his reputation. So as a whole, any incorrect claim I may have made didn't cause any extra damage. There are multiple barriers that Billy has to get through in order to be successful. He has to show that something that I said wasn't true and that it was defamatory. He then needs to prove that his reputation was damaged by that specific claim and has to prove those damages. From my side, I'm going to argue that what I said wasn't defamatory, that Billy's reputation was already terrible, and that I've said so many damaging things about him that were true and that I can prove that even if he did show that one thing I said was wrong, it didn't make a difference. And there are other very important things on top of this that I won't discuss until after trial happens. I couldn't sleep well for a long time. For the last couple of months, I've been feeling like dog shit. I've got like this charity drama crap coming up. Dealing with trying to figure out, oh my God, I'm gonna have to earn $200,000 in the next 3 months. to pay for this trial. The lawsuit has taken an extreme mental toll on me. I'm not free to just make the videos I want to make. And the lawsuit takes up so much of my mental energy and attention, it's hard to think about anything else. That's one of the reasons I make so many Billy Mitchell videos. I spend so much time researching Billy for the sake of my own defense that it's hard to work on other projects. I do the best I can, but a lot of the time I just try to kill two birds with one stone and take what I've learned about Billy to make videos and use that to fund my legal expenses and prepare for the worst. As many of you know, in September and October, I went to trial because of Billy's defamation lawsuit against me. I've had a lot of people ask me what's going on, and if there has been a decision. My trial will be decided by a judge. This takes time, and we will probably be waiting months for the judge to come back with his decision. And I don't know what that decision is going to be. Even though many people who've read about my trial say they think I will win, I am keeping myself very humble. For my own mental health, I have already accepted the worst case scenario. I am already psychologically prepared to lose. I think the worst thing that could happen is I get my hopes up, think I'm definitely going to win, and then end up losing. I'd rather assume I've already lost, deal with the grief early, and then hopefully be pleasantly surprised by a positive result. On a more positive note, it really seems like Billy's legal crusade is coming to an end. All of his lawsuits have either been dismissed or settled. Note that Billy has never ever actually won. The only lawsuit Billy has remaining is the one against me. Am I really going to be the only person Billy wins against? Oh boy, wouldn't that just be hilarious.
I have concluded that there should be judgment for Mr. Mitchell in the sum of $300,000 for non-economic loss and $50,000 in aggravated damages. In addition, Mr. Jobst should pay interest on those amounts. Finally, ordinarily an unsuccessful party is ordered to pay the successful party's costs of the proceeding. At present, I see no reason why I should not make such an order against Mr. Jobst.
A Brisbane YouTuber will have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars after accusing a high-profile gamer of cheating and contributing to the death of another gamer. The online icon successfully suing him for posting defamatory material to his 1 million followers.
There's another Billy Mitchell video. There's a Billy Mitchell video. And so another Billy Mitchell video, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. Everybody thought this lawsuit was about those videos and the alleged cheating scores. There's never any instance or mention about the Apollo suicide thing. And this is a video Karl made. And they felt like they were misled because they believed this lawsuit was about the authenticity of Billy Mitchell's video game records. Everybody was on Karl's side. I think that if the explanation of this guy, like basically suing because of the implication that he sued somebody into killing himself, I think that the public reception to it would have been very different.
He definitely misled people into thinking it might be because of, like, cheating.
Well, he didn't say what it was about, but then he launched a GoFundMe and said, here, let me say it like him. So, Karl Jobst launched a GoFundMe titled Karl Jobst Legal Defense Fund, framed the lawsuit as an attack on the truth, and claimed it was retaliation for exposing Mitchell as a proven cheater. At no point was this Apollo Legend stuff mentioned. That's perfectly reasonable. That's perfectly fine. You're not supposed to talk about your lawsuits. But he's out there. He was making videos. And the judge, when he was reading the sentence, he started reading all this shit talk that Karl was doing.
Mr. Jobst's conduct of this litigation, together with his additional online comments about it, were aggravating features of his conduct. Even in February 2024, as this action was progressing toward trial, he said in an online interview, Billy Mitchell needs to be destroyed in court. These people need to be punished in a big way before they stop. They need to get taught a lesson. So I am now the last chance. I am the last chance the public has to punish Billy. And also, the last person on YouTube you want to lose to is me. You know there's going to be 100 vids rubbing it in. I will never let Billy forget this, assuming I win. I've got to win first, but man, if I win, oh boy, I'm not going to be a good winner.
Billy Mitchell needs to be destroyed in court. He needs to be destroyed in court. So these people need to be punished in a big way before they stop. They need to get taught a lesson. So I am now the last chance that I'm the last chance the public has to punish Billy.
Yeah.
And in Australia, when you lose, you get generally almost always get awarded a judgment for costs, which means you got to pay back a certain amount of the costs. And because my costs are so high, Billy's looking at like a bill for like 300 or 400 grand when he loses. So if I was Billy, I'd be shitting myself. And also, like, the last person on YouTube you want to lose to is me.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be 100 vids rubbing it in afterwards. Like, Billy will never, like, I will never let Billy forget this, assuming I win.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I got to win first, but man, if I win, oh boy, I'm not going to be a good winner.
How do we get to the point where one human being hates another human being to the degree Karl Jobst clearly hates Billy Mitchell?
He is a disgraced cheater that everyone hates, no one wants him around, and I'm the only thing keeping him relevant.
I don't want to sort of talk about his family life.
Yeah.
Just out of respect. I mean, no matter how much I hate someone, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But he is married and he does have children.
And I'm now of the opinion he is legitimately evil, and hopefully something can be done to stop him soon.
I don't want to sort of talk about his family life.
Yeah.
Just out of respect. I mean, no matter how much I hate someone, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But he is married and he does have children. I don't want to sort of talk about his family life.
%13 of Karl's videos are made up of content talking about Billy Mitchell.
Try and build my YouTube channel. I felt like the Billy Mitchell thing was a very interesting topic. I mean, I love it. Billy Mitchell is like a content creating machine.
That's a lot of content for Billy's legal team to sift through to make the points that they wanted to make in their case against Karl. And with titles calling Billy gaming's biggest con man, disgraced, and cheater repeatedly, Karl was double, tripling, quadrupling, octupling, sextupling, septupling down, like literally just
There's a lot of people that are, rightfully a little confused that, whoa, why are you bringing up Apollo Legend and litigating who's responsible for him taking his own life? I really did think this whole case was about just cheating. But I feel like there probably should have been more transparency. Most of my investigation videos go through a team of lawyers that we have that will comb through the video for legal clearances. Most of my investigation videos go through a team of lawyers.
A man widely known as the King of Kong for his global high scores. Billy Mitchell's been locked in a bitter gaming battle with a Brisbane-based YouTube sensation, and today it was game over for Karl Jobst.
Mr. Jobst clearly intended to be the knight who slew the Mitchell dragon. Unfortunately for him, his lance was not as strong as he believed it to be, and it has broken in the contest.
A defamation trial spilling over from the computer world to the courtroom. Jobst had posted to his 1 million followers, claiming Mitchell cheated to achieve his arcade high scores. Gaming fans watching on as Judge Barlow awarded Mitchell $350,000 in damages for a particular claim that Mitchell had contributed to the death of another gamer.
Are you going to pay those information? With money on it. Do you have $350,000?
Oh
Billy Mitchell always has a plan. Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century.
Most of those 2D games, you wouldn't want to play these days. There's no appeal to me for the very old games, but just on the surface, they don't seem very appealing.
His talent is in his hands. He was a basketball.
Oh, Billy Mitchell always has a plan.